Okay, so before we get started with this episode, I have to do a quick disclaimer. I am not an investment advisor.
Nor am I.
All of our opinions are our own. None of this info should be used at any time today or in the future to form any basis for investment advice for any person, including you, our listener. Everything you will hear on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and informational purposes only, so please do not take any of this as investment advice.
And with that, please enjoy this episode.
Boom, baby. The year is 2030, and I'm eating my dinner while my children, adults who can't move out due to rapid inflation, sit across from me, dabbing and wearing a virtual reality headset that spoon feeds them G Fuel. I scroll through my Twitter on my iPhone, spelled EYE, ocular implants that render the internet in full augmented reality, and look at my video game feed, which is now curated by a handful of massive companies that gobbled up all the smaller ones. I read a tweet and get an achievement for logging in for the first time today. According to the tweet, Sonic is playable in Fortnite, not a skin, an entire game. The new one, Sonic Origins. Epic Games owns Sega in 2030, you see, and along with a bunch of other massive developers and publishers and mid-level developers. Microsoft, Sony, Embracer Group, EA, and Tencent own the rest. Out of morbid curiosity, I load Fortnite up. There's no console needed because it's pre-installed on all TVs, ocular implants, and VR headsets. And I step into Fortnite Plaza, a hub area where all my friends and family are hanging out. My wife is here, even though she hates games, because Epic has a deal with the big supermarkets where you get a hefty discount if you buy your shopping within the MetaVerse. She's walking down virtual Asada aisles and filling up a shopping basket, something Epic mastered when it implemented a shopping cart function into the Epic Game Store in 2025. I hop onto my Rocket League car and speed off in search of Sonic, zooming past live concerts staffed by real security guards, checking everyone's tickets before entry. These tickets are NFTs as well. It's a place to play, but also a place of work for many. I shake my head and skid past Call of Duty's town, where people play the new Warzone map. To my left, another player attempts to initiate a race with me, but they're dressed as Pickle Rick, so I bring up my social menu and block them instantly. Up ahead, there's a help desk that's hiring for admins to patrol Fortnite Plaza and make sure people are enjoying the product instead of being mean to each other. Endless billboards whiz overhead, advertising McDonald's, Uber, and Tesla. Finally, I reach my destination, Sonic Origins, a new Sonic game inside of Fortnite. Actually, it's less of a game and more like a mini game, but at least playing it earns me a Sonic backpack to wear in my Fortnite's Battle Royale mode. This is the future video game companies want. Boom. And that is an article, when there's much more to it, written by Kirk McKeon, I hope I said his name correctly, on For the Win with USA Today. And I just wanted to read that out to you guys because I thought it was a great kind of visual representation of what this whole metaverse world can look like. And so
it's heavy. You could see it.
Right?
You can just envision the whole thing.
As soon as he wrote about driving his car past all these different worlds and then the player coming up to his left and he's like, yo, fuck this dude, and blocks him. That's when I was like, this like that's it really paints like a good visual, like that Ready Player One kind of style.
For sure. It's coming.
Well, welcome back to the VisionVerse podcast, episode 4. My name is Jordan Powers.
Jaden Reed.
And we're just chilling here today. Jaden just recovered from the vid, as COVID. Many people know it now.
Omicron.
The Omicron. How did that go? Just out of curiosity.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, it hit me for about a week. Was a kind of like allergies. I felt like I got punched in the face. Bit tired, but I think I was on the luckier end of the spectrum.
Nice.
So yeah, I was out for a week, but we're back here to give you guys some premium content. Dive into the metaverse today.
Yeah, and so just the two of us today. We thought it would be good just to shoot the shit and talk a little bit about some of the stuff we've learned over the past 3 episodes that we filmed, and just some current news, and dive a little bit more deep into the metaverse, because we noticed that it's just been mentioned so much. And I think we kind of covered NFTs pretty well, but yeah, the different types of metaverses, or at least the current companies that are working on the metaverse right now, we haven't dived into yet. So yeah, maybe Jaden, you can start off with some news and some interesting stuff that you're looking at in this whole new world.
Yeah, I mean, for the week, things that have kind of come out, I mean, we're hearing the Super Bowls. Well, we know the Super Bowl is coming up right away. And we're starting to hear a lot of talk about crypto companies and these hosts being involved and performances in the metaverse. So yeah, I got some Super Bowl news, and that's Foo Fighters are doing a halftime show in the metaverse.
It's a halftime show or the show afterwards?
Okay.
I believe it's after.
Okay, maybe it's after. Okay, my bad.
All good.
Yeah, so there's that, which is going to be insane to see. I don't know if that's just going to be for ticket holders, or if people can, if it's early enough that people can kind of just leech off of that and find the location.
Yeah, they're going to be posting on their Facebook and their Instagram, and it's going to be right after the game is my understanding, and they'll be performing inside the metaverse. So it might be an example of just kind of showing what concerts can look like in there, which I don't know if anybody remembers Travis Scott doing a performance inside Fortnite a year or two back.
That was huge.
That was an example of what it kind of looked like.
Play Fortnite, but I remember that night and I was like, I want to watch this. How do I get onto it? And I went to my youngest brother and I was like, pull up Fortnite. Let's go get in there. Yeah. I want to see this concert.
Yeah. So I can imagine Foo Fighters might be doing something similar to that, and we'll be able to watch it after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. And then we've got FTX, which is, how would you describe that the best? Is it a trading host?
Yeah, they're kind of like you can buy and sell stocks on FTX, but you can also buy and sell cryptocurrencies, NFTs. Yeah. I believe the owner is also like the richest person underneath the age of like 30 or something like that. Sweet. As well. He's like a multi-billionaire. Yeah, he created FTX platform, but yeah. So it's like a little stock market kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. So they're doing a Bitcoin giveaway. I forget what the amount is, but that's going to be a huge incentive. Like I have a feeling that
one full Bitcoin.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So that's going to pique a lot of interest. We're going to see a lot of new wallets probably, and stocks just going up. That'll hopefully get us out of this bear market. But yeah, we got that. And then yeah, I heard that the NFL is giving NFTs to Super Bowl pass holders.
Crazy.
And it seems like it's everyone who's got a physical ticket who's in attendance. So that'll be insane, because if you think of it as sports cards or anything like that, jump ahead X amount of years. I'm not a big football guy, so I honestly don't even know who's playing, and I don't know players for sure, but I wouldn't doubt that there's somebody who's in that rookie year area, maybe not exactly this year, but still new. And who knows, that could be LeBron rookie card kind of value later on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Cincinnati Bengals versus the LA Rams. Sick. And if I think Cincinnati, they just won their first playoff game in like 30 odd years or something like that earlier in the playoff run, and now they're in the Super Bowl, and Joe Burrows is like this is his first Super Bowl. And so I mean, yeah, if Joe Burrows wins the Super Bowl this season and pops off, and you have a little Super Bowl NFT ticket to the first one that he wins, and he goes on to be like the next Tom Brady, for example. I'm not saying that he will be, I'm just using an example. Like, yeah, that's going to be worth a lot of money in the future, that NFT that you're holding for being there on his first Super Bowl win, which is crazy. It's so interesting that these cryptocurrency companies or these groups that are getting together are hitting sports so hard, because like crypto.com is sponsoring like the UFC, and I believe they bought a stadium. Is FTX the owner of what used to be the Staples Center in LA as well?
No.
Or is that crypto.com?
I think it's crypto.com.
Yeah.
So wow, what is that? That whole area is called yeah, but that's like some heavy real estate.
It's funny how hard they're going into sports.
Insane, but there's a lot of marketing and there's a lot of ad potential in sports. Like you look at, UFC or F1 is a perfect example. Mm-hmm. Every square inch of that car or any angle of a camera is a sponsorship spot.
And you can imagine that the sports teams and the owners and the people who own these stadiums, they're going to want these stadiums on digital real estate in the metaverse one day. And we can get into this, whether that's on Decentralized or Sandbox, or if those are all combined. But I guess they're gonna want, their own stadium in the metaverse one day. And so it makes sense, I guess, that these partnerships are forming so early.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Like walking around Decentralized right now, nothing's really got a roof on it, or like everything's kind of open top. Or you go to a stage, it's just like a field with a stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have full arenas and everything. Like you'll walk down the street to the arena.
Yeah, and each
Walk
team
down the
will have
street.
their own home arena in the metaverse. And
What was it last
everything.
episode? We were talking about who was it that's doing the sports broadcast for basketball, and they have like 1,000 cameras or whatever it is, and you can be there.
The Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, we didn't
Yes.
talk about that on the podcast. We talked about that over a few beers at B&A.
Right, that was it. We got to save this content. We can no work talk outside of here.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the Brooklyn Nets have like hundreds of cameras and a whole kind of post-production team working on like real-time 3D rendering. And yeah, I think it's called the MetaVerse. And so you can go buy a virtual ticket and literally be mid-court while Brooklyn Nets basketball game is happening, and it looks pretty. It doesn't obviously look like real life or anything like that, but it's surprisingly pretty realistic for where it's at right now. And yeah, that's just another example of where this future is going. You'll be able to sell virtual tickets and run right beside LeBron James as he slams I was gonna say a touchdown, but I meant a slam dunk.
Wrong sport. No, but you even look at how, like, yeah, EA games, everyone's buying the same game every year over and over again, technically. But you just look at how good the game gets each year, and they just fix a little thing, and the resolution, or like, now you're seeing the sweat beat off. Like, yeah, it's year one that they're doing this. It's the beta phase, but by 2023, 2025, that's going to look like me looking at you right now.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Can you search up really quickly how much Super Bowl tickets are going for? Because I think it'd be fun to do like a little prediction of how much those tickets could potentially be worth in the next like 5 years or something. If you get a little, I guess they're not, the ticket itself is not an NFT, but you're getting an NFT with your ticket, right?
Yeah, and I think it totally should be.
It should be, but yeah, I guess they just couldn't get on board for that this early. They'll have to
let's see.
Because I mean, people buy tickets to the Super Bowl years in advance.
Yeah.
Right. So
And they already go for
a lot of money.
high dollar. Yeah. I've never been to a Super Bowl, but I'm thinking a ticket's like $1,200.
Yeah. It's got to be more maybe. What's the average price? Can you find it quickly?
I can't find it quick enough. So many links to links. Okay. Standing room, US $395.
$395 US standing room. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And so yeah, standing room $395 US. You get a little NFT with it. Could potentially be worth $400-$500 in a year or two, and you basically went to that thing for free if you sell it.
Potentially to the right guy. Yeah. So that's what's going to be interesting about some of this stuff is, in 5 years, we might just have wallets that are just filled with things. They'll be like Snapchat memories almost.
Totally. Yeah.
They're not even, you don't have them for an investment purpose or a flipping purpose. They're just like, they were memories, I guess. Like going to the movie theaters with your high school girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. It'll be crazy if these are memories, but instead of it just being like a little screen and you're looking at it like filmed like in like 2D almost, like you just like click that little NFT, and because you're in a virtual reality world already, you're just sucked back into that seat at Super Bowl, and it's like you're watching it live again. Everything's captured.
Yo, that's a trippy thought. Like, like on demand or whatever.
Yeah.
Recorded episodes, and you can just jump back into memories and experiences.
But it'll be all virtual reality, and it'll all feel real as if you're there again.
That's a heavy thought.
That's fucked up. That's wild. That's wild. Okay, what else is in Metaverse Web 3.0 news world?
Metaverse land. Some news on Decentralized. Samsung is diving in.
Okay.
They are releasing the new Galaxy S22 in the Metaverse, and they have a little storefront.
Oh, okay. That's one of their phones, right? Or
One of the newest.
Who owns a
phones.
Samsung Galaxy? yeah, sponsor us.
The side thing I didn't even have, I don't know if it's Decentralized. I just kind of saw it on Instagram or TikTok or something. H&M has a storefront that you can walk through, and they've got their racks and everything. And
Crazy.
like it looked like Decentralized. And it was just their avatar. You can see their hands, and they're just walking through.
Wild.
It's like,
And
it's
they're
here.
just like, they just could pick out clothes and just kind of, or is the H&M just got a storefront and they're kind of just establishing that to begin with?
They're probably just there so far. They're probably in building phase where you can actually physically grab things, and that's going to be in line with the touch sensitivity.
Yeah.
But I mean, they came out of nowhere because we were talking about Walmart coming in 2 episodes ago. Haven't heard anything since, and then it's just
It makes so much sense for these companies to just like buy a little bit of digital land and build upon it, because it's probably, you know, generally speaking, a drop in the bucket in terms of an investment for some of these big companies, but you're grabbing like potentially the first primo real estate. And so it's like being on like, what is it? Melrose in LA.
Yeah.
Like you're like on that street. You're like in like the very beginning opening of like Decentralized when you first log in. That's a big deal.
well, just recently, and I have a feeling it's because of Super Bowl and everything, and just they know people are going to be at the bar. It's getting to Miller time.
Hey.
But yeah, Miller Lite has purchased land in Decentralized, and they're calling it Meta Light Bar. And they're actually advertising. They've got like a little billboard thing, and so I don't know if they're actually going to switch it up and advertise through there. And that's weird. I would never ever go for a virtual beer.
That's the one thing I don't understand is virtual drinks and food.
Yeah,
Because like, how can you get full virtually or get drunk virtually?
yeah. It'd be cool if there was like some delivery system, like you got a drone or something. They
Yeah.
had drones, whatnot. But then that's just.
There's one company working right now, and you can even download their app, but you have to own one of the NFTs in order to use it. It's called BioPill, BYO pill. And their concept is like you get one of these BioPills, which is just like a little pill in a jar, as your NFT. And then in the metaverse in the future, I'm not sure how the current app works with it, but you can take that pill and it gives you like power-ups or something like that. So one bio pill could be like the ability to fly in the metaverse. One bio pill could be the ability to run super fast or be invisible. And so like you take this little NFT pill, and then I could be like, dude, I kind of want your, you know, invisibility pill. I'll trade you my flying pill for the day. And then we just like do a little virtual trade between each other.
It's gonna be like Limitless mixed with Inception, mixed with like all these other trippy movies.
Yeah, so that I've heard of those versions of edible kind of NFTs and stuff like that, and that makes sense to me. But yeah, the whole food and drink doesn't make too much sense to me yet.
No. Yeah, like I've seen a couple of funny things about like MetaVerse girlfriend and whatnot. Of course, we knew that stuff was coming.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to go like, if you had a pen pal or something and you guys just had similar interests in music. Let's say you had a friend in Australia and there's a Rufus Du Sol concert. I'm going to want to link up with my Aussie friends, save the $1,400 on the plane ticket and the $1,000 ticket, call it concert ticket, and just link up.
100%. I was thinking about this the other day also, like, you know, 19-year-old kid, 18-year-old kid goes off to university halfway across the country. Still, mom and dad want to have family dinner every Sunday. Just hop into the metaverse and sit down and have dinner as if you guys are actually having dinner together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like we're going to have the glasses. It won't be the big Oculus. So it'll be a little more consumer friendly.
Totally. Crazy.
It's
so wild to think about, man.
You can't even think about all the possibilities because it's literally endless, and there's going to be so many things coming out in the next decade that are going to blow our mind. So last couple things to wrap up on Decentralized. Well, maybe not wrap up, but the first ever wedding we've had recently.
Oh, in the metaverse.
In the metaverse.
Wow. Congratulations to whoever that is.
Yeah, congratulations, guys. Kind of cool there because, again, especially like nowadays, we've seen, in the last couple of years, how many people did we hear about or did you see that were planning to get married and they just completely had to shut that down or cut their wedding to a portion of that.
Totally.
And so that's a great idea. Yeah, you don't get to, maybe the bride's father doesn't get to walk her down the aisle.
Or
virtually, maybe
it does virtually. Yeah. And there's no difference.
You have no capacity. Any family member can come. Like, it's so easy. You can log into Decentralized as a guest.
Totally.
So you don't even need a MetaMask wallet. You can just get on there, have the coordinates, drop in.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about this shortly about the different metaverses. Like it's clunky right now. Like it's just these little 3D kind of like random cartoon characters. But yeah, in the future, as this world is designed and more people are developing on it and it becomes more and more realistic and the technology exponentially grows and grows and grows and grows, you know, you could literally design your dream wedding to whatever your imagination could imagine, right?
Yeah.
Like it could be insane in there.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it right now where the technology's at. Like we're still at such, even though it's the talk of the town, I tried to find how many searches there are for metaverse right now.
And I mean, I guess if you're having digital assets within this world, just on the wedding topic still, sure, there's going to be certain things that probably cost money within that digital world. But just thinking again to like a real life wedding, you know, how many people wish that they could spend all this money on their dream wedding and they can't afford it, you know, in order to get that big venue, in order to get that lake view. Well, potentially in the digital world, it'd be much cheaper to have that.
Yeah. And even like hiring all that out or renting all that out. I mean, yeah, you could save some money and like this could create jobs for other companies. Like there could be a company right now. We have live streaming events, 1 or 2 guys on a team. They, you know, they hook up their camera gear to a server and then they can broadcast that. We're going to have more of a 360 camera setup with more advanced computer technical side on it. And yeah, that's going to, people can tune in on a 360 like the basketball game.
Totally.
And so that goes into your wedding budget or event budget.
Right.
Is to make it virtual.
Interesting. So many possibilities.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like you're saying right now, I mean, it's super early things. The graphics aren't too good. Decentralized looks like Wii.
Yeah.
Wii characters. That's the best way to describe it if you haven't been on. And then like Sandbox, we see a lot more of like cross-platform characters and like there's some meme characters in there like the Doge, the big muscular Doge.
Yeah, that's in Decentralized too.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing I've been excited to talk about and I just found this week, it's called Meta Hero.
Okay.
And I want to try and if I can, we'll throw the clip in. I tried looking for it the other day, but they basically have this big dome. It's all these steel columns.
Interesting. I have them on my list too. Meta Hero.
Okay. And they have, it's somewhere between like, it's like 600 cameras or something, Sony A7 III bodies or something it look like. And it's just this big ball. And so what they're doing is it takes a picture all at once. And then so they can render that into a 3D avatar. So these guys are in the process of making the most realistic avatars for the metaverse. They're partnering with, what was their name?
And they might have partnered with Will I Am as well on something.
Okay.
Yeah, like type in Will I Am digital avatar. You don't have to do it right now, but yeah, I'm just saying like the viewers type in Will I Am digital avatar, and it might have been Meta Hero that did it, but yeah, they created a full, you know, virtual Will I Am, and then you mix that with some form of AI kind of software, and it could literally talk to you and like do a whole music session with you and everything.
There's another thing you could do: meet and greets, and now, or even like high end, you know, like now the president doesn't necessarily need to go out into public.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of a bad thing, but like this stuff could happen. Yeah. It's called, so these guys are Meta Hero and they partner with Wolf Digital World.
Okay.
And so those are the two people behind it. But then their side thing, which they're creating, is called the Everdome. And this looks super cool. It's another metaverse that's going to come out. I'm not sure on what blockchain, but the digital frontier's first hyper-realistic metaverse. Everdome will provide a destination for MetaHero's remarkable tech to live, interact, and flourish, making MetaHero from the gateway into the metaverse. Together with Everdome, to fully obtain Web3 experience to the point when you take off your VR headset, you won't be able to tell what's real or not.
That's so trippy. I wonder if we're gonna do like people are gonna develop like psychological issues where they're not sure if they're in the virtual reality world or if they're in like the real world.
I've thought about this. There's like TikTok challenge, not a challenge, I guess, a slight trend of people. I've seen it several times of people locking themselves in for like 24 hours or 48 hours, and they just go in the metaverse and they sleep in the metaverse with the Oculus on and everything.
It's gonna be like Inception, where you need like a tiny little trinket in order to like spin, and if it like stops spinning, then you know you're in the real world kind of thing.
We could be onto something, a little side hustle.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna need this.
You're gonna need this, buddy. Or you'll go crazy like my friend over here.
But yeah, they're gonna try to accomplish is, you know, it's branding, social, professional, buy and sell products. Like business meetings, conferences, events, concerts, pretty much everything else we're seeing, but to a more high definition standard.
Well, I think what we'll eventually see is just like H&M has their storefront. MetaHero will, let's say instead of H&M, let's make it like a little bit more of a easier kind of product to understand. Let's say like your laptop there, Apple will give their newest laptop to MetaHero. They'll scan it with their super realistic software and hardware thing that they got going on there, and then it will create a digital version of that laptop that they're coming out with, and their product will then be in the Apple store, and it will look exactly like the product that you're going to buy and get in real life.
Yeah.
And that's what eventually every single company will have to do. They'll have to create realistic versions of their real life products.
Yeah. Again, going to make more jobs. This is going to be builders and engineers making a device that we just have in our businesses, like a photocopier or something, but it's going to be to scan your products and put them up virtually.
Totally.
And so one thing I'm seeing here that I remembered the other day that has me thinking, like, how are we going to see this? But it's saying medicine gain new opportunities to diagnose many diseases and carry out medical consultations on the other side of the world. Okay. So yeah, I guess things like COVID and stuff, all these doctors and highly respected professionals
work in like a digital lab together, a virtual lab together almost.
I guess.
Yeah, trippy. I saw one virtual reality thing where it was like it like replaced like having to like dissect like a cat or something like that in real life. And so like you literally could just like almost like Tony Stark in the Marvel movies, just like spread out this like cat, and it was just like every single individual part of the cat, the heart, the liver, like this, that, and all the above, all 9 lives you could see in there. And it was like but it was crazy because it was like now you don't have to be in like a classroom and like dissect a real life cat in order to learn, or frog or whatever, in order to learn every single thing about it.
Man, to even have those in school. Did you ever have to dissect an eye, a cow's eye in school?
Yeah.
Grade 9 or something?
And and a worm and all this other shit.
Oh, man. It pierced into it and it squirted me in the face, and I screamed like a girl and ran out of the school.
See, well, you wouldn't have that in the metaverse.
No, you would not. We need that. We need that for the kids.
Cool. Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll chat about some of the different companies and groups making metaverse projects right now and some of the differences and similarities between all of them.
Ciao.
Your next shoot will be a huge success. Cameras, lights, audio, lenses, and more. Head over to video.equipment for Kelowna's largest selection of gear. They have flexible and affordable pricing, and will even match or beat prices for any similar gear from their local competitors. Highly recommend them, guys. Video.equipment, check them out.
Yeah, huge thanks from us to Kelly. He's helped us out many times with the podcast and many other projects in the past. So any lights, camera, lenses, audio that you need, Kelly's got you.
Got it all. Boom. Video.equipment.
And we're back.
Ayo.
So one thing that I heard the other day that I wanted to talk about was everyone's been hearing the term blockchain. They don't really know what it is. They might know what it is a bit. We tried to explain it.
Yeah, we're definitely not totally caught up on what it is yet.
No. We explain it as like little cubes of information and smart data that get trickled along as each transaction
and digitally verify your digital assets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
through smart contracts
related to the metaverse, like we know that Decentraland and Sandbox, they are Ethereum based. So you buy things with Ethereum, NFTs with Ethereum, go on that blockchain, that network. And so basically it was saying that these blockchains are basically just cities.
Each individual blockchain technology
is a city. So you have or a country, let's say.
Yeah.
So you could have like Ethereum is Canada.
Let's go Canada.
And then you have Solana as the US, maybe.
Sure.
Kind of deal. Yeah. And then whatever else we're going to see, I mean, as technology grows, it's going to be back to the whole pets.com,
right?
That age, right? All these companies coming out, the ones that are going to crash, but the Amazon, the eBay, the Apple,
the countries that stick around, the empires
that we don't even know about yet, that are going to exceed and pass and realize the holes and what needs fixing and take action.
And the cool thing about the country thing is like, yeah, you can travel to different countries. You might need a passport to get through there in order to get onto that blockchain, let's say, but each country and each blockchain, they'll have their own laws and their own rules and their own ways of doing things. And so you might decide to go live in the Ethereum blockchain world, the Canada, or you might decide to go live in the Solana blockchain world, the US. You might decide to travel between the two. It's, they're all going to be their own little cities built in this metaverse world. All their own little
already
countries.
Seeing like exchanges. OpenSea is working to get a Solana platform on theirs. So, yeah, and then what's the other one? Looks Rare, Ethereum based, I think. But all these bigger companies like NFT marketplaces are looking to diversify and get in different blockchains.
Totally.
So yeah, it's just gonna be, you're gonna just kind of pick where you want to be at the time.
Correct. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And so I'm just going to list off a couple of these, what you could consider countries, cities. Some of them are built on the same blockchain, but these are some of the main groups that are building the metaverse right now and working on it. So there's obviously Meta, which is Facebook. Facebook recently rebranded as Meta, and they're working on their own little metaverse. One thing that we'll talk about once we finish listing off this is how some of the controversy surrounding Meta and like the OG people in this metaverse and Web 3.0 world and this decentralized aspect of all this are not too stoked with Facebook doing what they're doing, because it will become a centralized thing. It will be controlled by one entity. The Zucks himself will control this metaverse. And so many people are not too stoked about that compared to something like a Decentraland where it's all decentralized, but we'll get into that a little bit. So Meta, the Hyperverse is, was that the one that you mentioned that's super realistic or no?
No, that was Meta Hero.
Okay. So yeah, Hyperverse is one. Sandbox is one. Decentraland, we talked a bunch about. Nakamoto is one. Meta Hero, which you had mentioned, is one. Star Atlas, Blocktopia, Roblox, which is a very popular one coming out. Stageverse, and Spatial. And then some people point to like Epic Games as well as having their own metaverse eventually, who run Fortnite and stuff. So search up some of those names and do a little bit of research. That's a great little starting point to learn about these different metaverses. Sure. Which ones have you dived into the most?
Pretty much the only one I can really get access to is Decentraland. I mean, I tried to get some sandbox content and some screen grabs for you guys for this episode, but they're doing some rebuilding. So there's no Mac OS support right now. But yeah, because I was looking, I mean, Decentraland's easy to jump into. They have their like enter now or play now or whatever. The sandbox, I was like, it's just like the map or the marketplace and stuff. And I was like, how do I look around?
Right.
How do I check things out? So I guess you have to go in the builder and actually like, you can go from there. But that's also one thing I want to check out as well is the building stage. And like, it looks like the software is pretty user friendly and no coding or anything. So I mean, if it's pretty easy, I've been drawing a box house since I was in grade 2. Yeah. So I can just do a couple clicks and make a nice looking house and then go sell it for mana or Ethereum.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the sand? Oh, sand. Sandbox token is sand. Yeah. So I mean, that could be a whole different ball game too.
Yeah, you'll have whole jobs and careers created, like we were talking about, of either developers on these blockchain technologies and in these metaverses, or just like, an architect who goes in there and designs beautiful houses and buildings and talks to their little metaverse real estate agent and sells them. You know, I've spent my most time on Decentralized as well. I started going in there and taking some screen grabs kind of as photos. I hope to mint them as NFTs one day. But it was super interesting because I connected my crypto wallet to it. And so now I can log in and have all my stuff and have my character. And I created my little character to be like, kind of look like me a little bit, wear some outfit that I thought I would wear. And what's so cool that I found as soon as you walk in there, is you can walk up to somebody and like talk to them just like straight up as if you're talking to somebody in the real life, like just through your headphones and stuff. And
it's got the range. Like if somebody's talking to you as you're walking away, it'll kind of like filter out, or if they're on your right, it'll be right ear.
Totally.
So that's super cool. I haven't done that yet. I've walked around and I've like wanted to maybe say what's up. I went into a club one time and I was like, is there going to be a conversation here? But I don't know.
Most of it is trolls from my experience. I was just getting called a loser and some other names that I don't feel like saying out loud here on the podcast.
Back to early Call of Duty Xbox Live days.
Exactly. Some very inflammatory language was being thrown around at me, but
unbelievable.
Unbelievable, right? What did I ever do to those guys? Huh?
Just there for some GTs and just getting harassed.
But it was cool because it's like this virtual world and it's kind of fantasy. The colors are very interesting. It's not like this most visually like realistic looking yet, but you can walk into like galleries, into bars, into just all this different like crazy stuff, and I'm sure you'll eventually be able to just like climb mountains and walk through the forest. There was like a little graveyard I walked through at one point, I remember. It was kind of weird. There was like ghosts flying around, and
I just went to like a couple like museums and showcase, what do you call it? Showcase fronts or whatever.
Yeah, like little galleries.
Gallery, there we go. Thank you.
With different like levels and stuff also. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, I spent hours in there. But like we're going to see lots. I mean, you can actually go on Decentralized on their website and they have an events page and you can just see what's coming up. I mean, that's like, we had Ice Cube, Future, Snoop Dogg, all on Decentralized. So...
Deadmau5, I think, was one of the biggest people to do a show.
Was that Sandbox though? Because I think he owns land in Sandbox.
Oh, was it Sandbox? Maybe. I thought it was Decentralized, but I could be wrong. I know one NFT group called Deadfellas. They bought land on Decentralized. It was part of their roadmap for this NFT project that they would eventually buy land in Decentralized and open up their own club, where you needed Deadfellas NFT in order to get into the club. And on Halloween, Steve Aoki was playing a show there. So if you had a Deadfellas NFT, you could go into the club just sitting on your laptop at the end of the day, with your little character going to the club. And then boom, all of a sudden Steve Aoki's little Deadfella character was up there playing a DJ set, and everybody kind of partied out. And like that'd be so sick. I mean, when I'm working on set, I work some pretty long hours. So at the end of the day, I usually have some paperwork to do at the end of the day. So I like to grab a beer, and it would be sweet to just dive in, do your work. You're at a concert, right? Drinking
a real beer, but at a concert. Yeah. Actually, one thing I just came across now, because I was on Decentralized events, Vice Media.
Yep.
Vice, like the magazine and everything. They have headquarters in the metaverse now.
Crazy. Yeah, so employees will probably sign in and go to work there, right? And they'll all be able to meet there and talk to each other and, shoot the shit at the water cooler and talk about what they're doing. Oh, I'm in Bolivia filming right now. No way. I'm in Vancouver. No way. I'm in London. Like,
this stuff isn't helping with the chip shortage.
No. We need a lot more of those chips. But
we need more people cranking out some chips.
Yeah. And so I guess we can talk, since we're on Decentralized right now. What's cool and where this controversy comes between Facebook and Decentralized is obviously Facebook is a private owned company. There's a CEO, there's an owner, right? They're in control of this world that they build called Meta that they're working on, and it's going to be run by the company, right? And they're going to have their own vision of what happens in there, what you can do in there. They hope to carve out space to be the biggest metaverse, which we could say the biggest city or the biggest country in this new metaverse world. And a lot of people aren't stoked about that because when Bitcoin first came out, one of the key components of it was a decentralized currency. Nobody owned it. No government could necessarily mess with it. There's tons of arguments against that also, I'm very aware, but just as a general perspective, it was decentralized and the community ran it and was in control of it. Decentraland is that. It's developers can go in there, they can build this world, and they can get paid in mana coin, which is built on the Ethereum blockchain as well. Right now, as of the filming of this podcast, Decentraland's mana coin is worth
like around $3.50 or something.
Yeah, it might have dropped a little bit.
So I was just looking at that before this, and since January 22nd, it had a big climb, almost up 70%.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, it crashed a little bit with all these other cryptos crashing. It's still, plus 306% overall right now in the past year. But yeah, it's worth $3.34 American right now, $4.24 Canadian. So yeah, I mean, let's say you're working for one mana coin an hour as a developer, but Decentraland builds out to be one of the bigger metaverses. And now that coin is worth, don't know what the cap is on it, but let's say it's worth, $100 and you worked 10 hours on that on there, and now you've got like $1,000, right? So this is why it's decentralized, is because they're just paying whoever decides to tune in with whatever free time they have and work on this world, and that makes it kind of unique in that sense, and nobody can own it, and the community just really controls it, which is very cool. So that's like the main two controversies between like Meta and like these decentralized world. Is it's like where is the consumer going to put their most time into? Are we going to move towards a curated experience that somebody like Zuckerberg has created for us? Or are we going to move towards a more decentralized, community-driven experience that is just, humans being humans at the end of the day deciding? I don't think anybody knows the true answer, but.
No, I think my opinion is we almost have like demographics.
Right.
Like Facebook, when it first came out, younger generation, it filtered out to our parents and our grandparents, and now that's more like 25 to 65 demographic. We replaced Facebook with Instagram. Now that's the younger generation. It's trickling older because TikTok has come out, and
right.
The kids are using TikTok. So yeah, I think it'll, with time, like the younger generation and those who are in on this first, maybe not in the younger generation, but those showing interest right now, jumping in, they're just going to go through that same phase, I think. And they're going to go there. They're going to check it out. It's going to get old one day, and it's going to filter. At that point, it'll filter onto those who are just getting into it. Right. But then they'll be onto the next thing.
I guess like the kind of more philosophical question comes into play though of which is better, a centralized owned metaverse or a decentralized metaverse, where it's because the stuff we're talking about and the endless possibilities within this is like going to be like pretty drastic experience for humans. And like we said, like, are you going to go crazy because you're not aware of if you're in the real world or in the metaverse, right? Like there's a lot of potential for good and bad within this world. And so I guess the philosophical question that we probably either couldn't answer is which will be better for society as a whole, a curated, centralized metaverse or country within the digital world, or a more decentralized, horizontal kind of framework metaverse. Like what's your opinion on all that?
I don't think any of us will know until shit hits the fan and issues present themselves. Because then I think that's when Zuckerberg will kind of look better. Like maybe in a sense, like there will be more control, obviously. So it's not going to, like, okay, here's a good example. It's early to the game Decentraland. You can make your avatar however you want. We're seeing harassment cases already. Well, because it's kind of decentralized. It was built, it was put out there, the people manage it. With something like Facebook, we're going to have restrictions on that.
Right.
You're going to have parental guardians. You're going to have age restrictions. It's going to be the most PG, I think.
So some kids might be more in the Roblox metaverse, for example, where there's going to be some certain like maybe rules and regulations on what, you know, can be said and done in this world, because, you know, kids are going to be largely in there compared to like one that could be a little bit more wild west where adults can be in, kind of thing. Yeah. What scares me the most about a centralized meta version is, and not necessarily that meta is going to be this, but like just look at the amount of propaganda and, you know, division being created in our world today just through these social media platforms like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, curating what we want to see and giving us like this like confirmation bias through their algorithm. The amount of propaganda and confirmation bias you can probably inject into society through these metaverse worlds now is going to be astronomically like higher, right? Yeah. And so it's like, what can a centralized force in this metaverse do if they have ill intentions for the society as a whole? If they want to just turn us into these just sheep-like consumers, just constantly just, you know, in there.
And they totally could. Like, Zuckerberg's been in hot waters for a long time, and like there's been outrageous things, and everybody thinks that we're being spied on, and you know, our information is just out there for whoever, which it kind of is. But yeah, I mean, he could have different intentions or some sneaky, like look at Snapchat. Filters are kind of just a sneaky way of facial recognition.
Yeah.
So there could be just stuff like that it seems all hunky dory, everyone's using it, but it really serves another purpose.
Yeah.
And he could totally go down that path.
Or what kind of data is he able to possibly sell in a metaverse world compared to the data that you can sell now? Like you're going to have way more personalized ways of knowing about your consumer. It's creepy, man. So that's like, those are some of the questions that I think people are asking, and we'll come into the real world a little bit more as just like, what is better for us as a whole, a decentralized version of these metaverses or these more centralized versions?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the decentralized for
That's
sure.
my hope as well. That seems to be what's ushered us into this era, and I hope sticks around to stay and moves us into a new era of being a little bit more free from, you know, some of our overlords. Well,
agreed.
I hope that's not too dark for anybody, and I hope this isn't too dark for anybody either. But we're gonna leave you with a little kind of thought experiment and write up from our favorite news source for this metaverse world, MetaVerse on Instagram, spelled METAV, the number 3 RSE. And this particular kind of Instagram post was titled "Everyone is Wrong About the Metaverse." And so this was a series of tweet by a guy named Sean Purry. His Twitter handle was Sean VP, spelled SHAAN VP. And this is what he had to say. Hot take: everyone is wrong about the metaverse. Here's my 3-part theory. Part 1, everyone is wrong. Most people think the metaverse is a virtual place, like in the movie Ready Player One, which we've alluded to many times. A virtual world like Minecraft, Roblox, or like Zuck showed in the Facebook demo yesterday. But what if it's not a place? Part 2, if it's not a place, then it's a time. A time? What the fuck? Yes, a moment in time. You know, in artificial intelligence, there's an idea of the singularity. It's a moment in time where AI becomes smarter than humans. The moment when artificial intelligence is greater than human intelligence. Part 3. So what is it? The metaverse is the moment in time where our digital life is worth more to us than our physical life. This is not an overnight change or an invention by some Steve Jobs type or Zuckerberg type. It's a gradual change that has been happening for over 20 years. Every important part of life is going digital. Work is going from factories to laptops, boardrooms to Zooms, friends from neighbors to followers. Where do you find like-minded people? Twitter, Reddit, etc. Games. More kids play Fortnite than they do basketball and football combined these days. Identity. Filters are the new makeup. Stories are your personal billboard to broadcast who you are. What matters more, what you look like in real life or what you look like on Instagram? And then it has two pictures here side by side, and it says the picture on the left is what they see, and it's all done up and looks great. And then the picture on the right is what is the real world is like, and it's this girl just eating a flower, and she doesn't look nearly as attractive as the left photo. We'll put that up on the screen. So he says, which one matters more? Everything goes digital, your friends, your job, your identity. And now with crypto, your assets are online too. Bored apes are the new Rolex. Fortnite skins are the new skinny jeans. If everyone hangs out online all the time, then your flexes need to be digital. So if you play this forward another 10 to 20 years, we will cross into the metaverse, the moment in time where digital matters more to us than physical. Our attention used to be 99% on our physical environment. Well, TVs dropped that down to 85%, computers dropped that down to 70%, and phones dropped that down to 50%. Our attention is being sucked from the physical to the digital, and where attention goes, energy flows. If 50% of our attention is in the digital screen, and 50% of our energy will be in the digital life. Today, it takes some effort for us to take our phone out of our pocket and look at it. Soon, some company will make smart glasses that sit in front of our eyes all day long. We will go from 50% attention on screens to 90% plus. That's the moment in time when the metaverse starts, because at that moment, our virtual life will become more important than our real life. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Like anything, it's neither good nor bad. It's just a thing, a very different thing.
It's heavy stuff.
That's wild to think about. What really gets me in that is the whole, TVs brought our attention from the physical world to the digital world down to like 80%, and then the 50% with the laptop, or 70% with laptops and 50% with phones. And then having these things now potentially in the next 10 to 20 years in front of our eyes will make our digital world 90% of our attention. It's a weird thing.
And that just stopped at phones.
Yeah.
Not even like social media comes after that.
Yeah. 100%.
And now probably TikTok more than Instagram. Like we went from like our attention span just keeps dropping, like since Vine.
Yeah.
6-second videos. Okay. Well, now it's like, we see 10-second clips, and YouTube's come out with under a minute, a whole platform, or like mobile, whatever, on short videos. So our attention's just dropping. We're always head down.
Our attention span is dropping, and our attention is pushing more into the digital than it is into the physical world. Yeah. And that's just the reality of things. It seems to be a trend that continues to, go in that direction. And our kids aren't going to know anything different. So you can't really blame them.
Nope. We just got to dive into it now so that we're prepared.
We just got to dive into it now, help build that world so that it's, fun and friendly and good for everybody, and pick the country that we want to be in. Which blockchain do we want to be in? Which metaverse do we want to be in?
And if worst comes to worst, we start our own and we build our own city.
VisionVerse, baby.
You build it, they will come.
You build it and they'll come. Okay. Well, with that, I'm Jordan Powers.
Jaden Reed. You guys have a great week.
Catch you on the flip.